It's 110 degrees here in Las Vegas, and the only thing hotter than the temperature is the hot mess of a real estate market that we're currently in. Wait till you see this information coming up. What's going on, my YouTube friends? This is Jerry Abbott, your #1 real estate resource here in beautiful Las Vegas. Hey guys, a couple of quick things before we dive into the video. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn the cold hard facts about the Las Vegas real estate market and real estate in general, then make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Number 2, also make sure to give me a thumbs up like, guys. That would really help the channel out. And number 3, if you are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, whether it's next month or next year, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When the time is right for you, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the video. All right, so the overall real estate market, as well as the Las Vegas real estate market, is just a hot mess right now. It is a car accident waiting to happen, in my opinion. Now, I know a lot of people think I'm being over dramatic because demand for home buying has been strong this spring and summer. Home prices are up, inventory is low, but a lot of people don't see the economic storm clouds gathering in the background. And in the upcoming segments, I'm going to show you why I think the economy is going to finally start to buckle in the fall and in the winter, and that's going to have a major impact on home prices. Let's dig into those details right now. All right, so let's first take a look at this website. This is the CME Fed Watch Tool website. Now, I've showed you guys this in the past. This is the website that predicts whether or not the Fed is likely to raise interest rates again. And you can see just above my picture there that the next meeting, you can see the live countdown clock, is literally in 1 day. So by the time you guys see this on Saturday of this weekend, they will have already raised rates because it is a foregone conclusion that they're going to raise rates, and I'm going to show you why. Right down here in this chart, this large blue bar right here says 99% to go from a Fed target rate of 525 to 550. That is basically a foregone conclusion. So the Fed is absolutely going to raise rates in tomorrow's meeting. Again, this does not bode well for people looking to make expensive purchases like cars and homes because it's just going to be more expensive to borrow money. Again, that's what I think is going to happen in the real estate market. As these rates continue to go up, the real estate market is going to soften because, again, there's going to be less buyer demand because less buyers can qualify to buy homes as these Fed rates keep going up. All right, so now let's take a look at this chart. This is the median sales prices of homes across the United States over the last 5 years, and I want to show you this chart for a very specific reason because now we can start to see the trajectory of the overall housing market. Take a look on the bottom left here. Home prices back in 2018, 2019 were averaging about 315, 320. It stayed pretty flat, and then right here we had the pandemic hit, and then it just took off like a rocket ship. We've never seen this in the history of real estate, and right underneath my picture there you can see last summer we averaged $480,000 for a median home price. Now you can see that little downward move right here this year. We're now down to 436. Now, does that mean we're going to come all the way back down to where we were back in 2018 or 2019? I don't think that's the case, but when we see such a huge amount of appreciation like this during that peak of the pandemic, you can start to see this now starting to come down. This, in my opinion, is going to take a little while. It's not going to happen overnight, but this could take another year potentially before we finally start to see even more of a price drop coming down into maybe this range where we get under that $400,000 average price point. I think that's definitely the trajectory that we're headed on the overall housing market. All right, so now I want you guys to take a look at this short 1-minute video clip from a popular YouTuber talking about housing inventory and how that's going to affect real estate prices. I'm going to come back on the other side and comment on it, but let's first take a look at this right now.
The point I want to make about inventory, though, so everyone understands this, is, some people get stuck on how can inventory increase? It's so low. Understand this. Right now, there's about 650,000 homes for sale in the U.S. housing market, compared to 100 million homes total. So there's about 0.6% of all homes are listed for sale. Now that's low inventory. In a normal market, it's about 1.2% of all homes listed for sale. So all that needs to happen is a 0.5% increase in inventory and new listings. It's not a very big shift that needs to occur to cause a massive movement in inventory. And that's actually the risk of low inventory, is that all of a sudden it can explode and it can boom. And I just want to throw out some numbers for people. Right now in America, there's 12 million vacant single-family homes. 12 million vacant single-family homes. There's 1.4 million Airbnb and Verbos. There's lots of vacant inventory or investor inventory. There's 17 million single-family rentals, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. So the point I'm trying to make here is not saying that all those people are going to sell, but saying that if there's only a little bit of distress, the inventory levels on the U.S. housing market could double very fast.
All right, so they had a few minor audio issues there, but I think you pretty much got the gist of it. What he's pretty much saying is there's 100 million homes in the United States, and only 600,000 of them are for sale currently right now in the United States. Now, it doesn't take much for some of that huge investment inventory, if it hits the market, to double inventory. If that happens, that's when real estate prices are going to drop, especially if the economy starts to buckle, because then people get scared, fear overrides everyone and everything, and then investors want to sell their properties, try to get as much equity out as possible, and then a lot more inventory can hit the market. When that happens, coupled with higher interest rates, that's where we're going to see those meaningful price drops. That is going to take time. Like I keep saying, it's going to likely go through the rest of this year and well into 2024. All right, so I just wanted to show you this bizarre headline that just came out from an article in Fortune magazine, because this perfectly illustrates the hot mess of a real estate market that we're currently in. The headline here is quoting a loan officer saying, "I'm seeing middle-class home buyers take on $7,000 a month mortgage payments, thinking they can always refinance when rates come down in the future." I don't even understand this, because middle-class people don't even make $7,000 a month, let alone take on a $7,000 a month mortgage payment. But this goes back to a bigger point as to why consumer spending is still completely out of control. People are spending and they don't even realize the unimaginable debt that they're taking on just because they want to buy a home or they want to buy now a more expensive car. This is why the Fed continues to raise rates, because people are still spending at astronomical levels like this article is suggesting. And that's why I keep telling you guys, don't do anything right now. Sit on the sidelines if you can. Wait for things to normalize, because people are acting crazy and you need to sit this out right now before prices finally start to come down, especially in the housing market. All right, so just to piggyback off that last segment where some people are taking on $7,000 a month mortgages, this right here is an example on the popular real estate website Zillow of a home for sale in Las Vegas with a $7,000 a month mortgage. You have to spend $1.1 million right now. You can see just under my picture where it says estimated monthly cost $7,000, and that comes with a 20% down payment. So you have to put $220,000 down on a $1.1 million home just to get to a $7,000 a month mortgage. That's why this is completely bizarre. It's hard to believe that people are doing that, but you have to buy a home for $1.1 million at that level to be at a $7,000 a month mortgage payment, and you got to put $200,000+ down to get that payment to that level. All right, so now let's drill down specifically into my neck of the woods here in Las Vegas, because I want to show you what's going on with the median home price here through the course of 2023, because now we can start to see again the trajectory of what's going on here with home prices. The beginning part of the year, we started here at $425 in January, February, and March. It stayed totally flat, and then we started to spike up during the predictable spring-summer popular buying season. In May, we peaked at $442, and now right here in June, we went down to $440. But you can see that little downward trajectory. That's exactly what happened last year. And I think as we get to this plateau point, which usually happens in the June-July period, we start to reverse. And I think especially because the Fed is going to raise rates, and I think there's economic uncertainty coming in the fall time period, we're definitely going to see prices drop down at the end of the year and going into 2024. All right, so back by popular demand, I want to show you a couple of homes for sale in the Las Vegas area on the popular real estate website Zillow, just to show you again some of the price reductions that are still happening across the valley. Take a look at this home. This is a beautiful single-story home in the Las Vegas area. It's listed at $895,000, but right underneath that, you can see they did a price cut of $29,000 back in the middle of July. But more importantly, let's go down here to the bottom. You can see right there where I'm moving the arrow, this home last year was valued at $1.1 million. Right now, you can see the Zestimate, that's the approximate estimate that Zillow has put on this home right now at $870,000. That means in the course of the last year, this home has reduced down 20%. So again, being patient over the course of the last year, you could buy this home now for 20% less than if you bought it last year. That's why patience is the prudent play, guys. All right, so now let's take a look at one more home for sale in the Las Vegas area that's now down closer to the average price point. You can see next to my picture here that this home is listed at $465. They just did a price cut back on July 20th of $20,000. So this home was at about $485 just a couple of weeks ago. But more importantly, take a look down here where I'm moving the arrow. The estimated value about a year ago was $548. Now the estimated value right there is $456. So in the course of 1 year, this home, which is an average price point, has gone down $100,000 or about 20%. So again, if you bought this last year, you would have been paying 20% more. Now, what I think, again, like I said in the previous segment, I think these homes are going to drop even lower as we get into the fall and winter. And if you're patient, I think we're going to see better deals and better pricing because rates are going up. So we need to see prices come down. And I think that's going to continue, especially as we get into the end of this year and into the new year. So just to summarize that information and show you the downward trajectory that I think the overall housing market is headed for is the following. The Fed just raised interest rates yet again, and I think it's very likely that they're going to raise rates again in September as well. When that continues to happen, eventually unemployment is going to go up. And when unemployment goes up, homebuyer demand is naturally going to drop because people cannot afford to buy a home when they're unemployed or these high rates are still in place. When homebuyer demand drops, eventually housing inventory is going to increase. And when housing inventory increases, that's where we're going to see home price declines. Now, I think that's going to take a good 6 to 12 months for this to really fully unfold, but that's the trajectory I think the housing market is headed for. So before we end today's video, I just want to give a shout out to my favorite comment from last week's video, and that goes to Kay Smith. Now, you can see their comments here on screen talking about if you don't want prices to keep going up, stop buying. You don't need to buy $1 million home. You don't need to buy an $80,000 pickup truck. She's basically saying people do not have any self-control, and she's not wrong. That's really the key factor. If people just boycotted and stopped buying, prices would go down, and I fully agree with this comment. And just remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a cool or creative comment down below, and of course, like the video as well. And my favorite comment from this week's video, I'm going to give a direct shout out to in next week's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I also hope you appreciate my transparency. Like I've said before, I'm always going to keep it 100% real on this channel regarding the overall real estate market with specific emphasis here in the Las Vegas area. So like I've been advocating in my previous videos, guys, if you do not have to buy a home right now, don't do it. Sit on the sidelines. I think this is going to take well into 2024 until we finally see some meaningful price reductions in the overall housing market. However, when that time is right for you, and if you're thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When the time is right for you, just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. I'll see you in the next video.